One. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Real Reds, breakfast show, let's just call it. We have all the topical news to go down a treat with your coffee. So here is what is on the agenda this morning. We're going to talk about the huge blow that came out late last night about Joshua Zirkzee being out for the season. Andre Onana, an update on that move, saying that he wants to stay, he's happy in Manchester. God, please no. We have a Liam Delap update, a positive update for anyone who's a fan of the player, and also a new TIFO planned for the Europa League tie against Lyon as well. So plenty to sink our teeth into, Sam. How are we this morning?
Yeah, worried about the game tonight. Very worried, but
Tomorrow
we'll see
night
how it happens. Tomorrow night. I don't even know what fucking day it is anymore.
No one does.
Yeah.
You're not the only one.
Yeah, I'm worried about that game, and I'm sure I'll get more and more worried and more nervous as the days and the thingy go on. So yeah,
anxiety builds. The biggest news going into that, Sam, is that Joshua Zirkzee is going to miss several weeks with a hamstring injury. He's out for the season, just as simple as that. He kind of suspected it after the game. Thoughts, feelings on him, that news in general, and also him as a player this season, how you think he's done?
I think it's been a journey for him, hasn't it? Like you think about that Newcastle game, the first one at Old Trafford, he got booed off, and you were like, Jesus Christ, this is not looking good for him. And then there was all those reports that he was going to leave in January and all this sort of stuff going on. And then since then, he's sort of had a remontada of sorts, hasn't he? He's come around and sort of become one of our integral players. He's really good on the ball. His link-up play is excellent. He's got a couple of goals. And he's become like a really important player for us in terms of the way we play and things like that. You saw an example of that in the Newcastle game. The one-touch stuff with Bruno was excellent. And you're like, this guy's he's redeeming his season almost. And then to see him start, and he has that ridiculous run, and you're like, oh my God, like imagine like if he had pace, like, and he just looks fantastic. And then his hamstring goes, and you're like, nah, he's fucked. That's it. Because as soon as you see a player's hamstring goes, you know it's minimum 3-4 weeks. Like, you know it's that, and it could be longer. And it's, gutted, man. I'm gutted for him. I'm gutted for the team because he would have been absolutely important against Lyon. And he deserved to end this season with a trophy, like playing on the pitch and stuff like that. And he would have been a part of it. But yeah, gutted for him, man. Really, really gutted.
What I'm interested in is seeing what Amorim thinks of him as a player and where he sees him long term in the future as a player, and I'd love to hear anyone else's thoughts on that as well, just in general watching. I just think because he was brought in, I'm guessing, under the scope of this is a player for Ten Hag, right? Because Ten Hag was here at the time.
I'd assume so, yeah.
So they've brought him in for Ten Hag, but then even under Ten Hag, you're like, well, where is he going to play him? Because anyone you listen to, coaches, fans, whoever, they all see him as this kind of 9.5, right? He's not an out-and-out goal scorer who's going to be focal point, or not necessarily focal point, but your main goal scorer in the team. So then if you have one of those kind of players like a Firmino was at Liverpool, you then expect the wingers, or the ones either side of him, in Amorim's case, the inside 10s, to be putting out a lot of numbers. So then do you think maybe long term we will see Bruno, Ahmad and Zirkzee like we touched on in a preview?
Yeah, that could be an option. There's talk of like getting another 10 in the summer as well. Like you look at the likes of Mateus Cunha has been spoken about. I don't know how realistic that is with his price, but that's the kind of idea. And you see a guy like that who he's not only capable of goal scoring, which is something Zirkzee sort of doesn't do too well with, but he's also capable of link-up play and building and creating and stuff like that. So having him as a part of a front three with Zirkzee, Bruno, or Mount, and whichever striker we bring in, or things like that could be really interesting. Obviously, Amorim's system's all dependent on specialists and players in positions that do that job. We've seen that with the wing backs. Like as soon as we got Dorgu in, you saw that side start creating stuff instead of when Mazraoui was playing there. Dalot, I don't think is the long-term answer there. I think there's going to be a replacement there. And then, the same with a striker. Like, you need a Gyökeres type striker or an Osimhen type striker who's going to work hard, can bully defenders, but also can create things for himself and make things happen, which Højlund is struggling to do at the minute. So I think, if we get the right people around Zirkzee, I think he'll flourish. And we've seen glimpses of it. We've seen moments. And I think we can get more of those if you get the right people around him. But obviously, finances with United is a tricky question at the minute.
I really like him as a player and what he brings, and the qualities that you've just spoken about. I don't know long term how he's going to fit in this team. Like, I think he would be a very valuable player for another team who set up. Like, I can't think of one off the top of my head at the minute, who play that kind of system where he could flourish. But for United at the minute, I don't know. I like him, and maybe he could be a part of a team, and not every player has to be the star player and score shitloads of goals. But I'm just very confused as to going forward. I'm sure we'll get more of a picture as we head into the summer and pre-season, and we buy a couple of players. And then he maybe is just one of those floating tens, and the attack looks completely different. But I'm a bit worried about his future. Not more so than Rasmus, because Rasmus, I think
one of them goes in the summer. Either Rasmus or Zirkzee go in the summer. And at the minute, it's looking like Rasmus Højlund, but yeah. I don't think both of them stay this summer.
No, I agree. Right, let's go to the opposite end of the pitch then, because we've had some news on. My camera's doing that thing again. Andre Onana, he wants to stay at United. Apparently, Sam, this is obviously in well, we've had a kind of a confliction of reports. We've had Laurie Whitwell come out saying that United are now basically considering selling him. We've had Fabrizio Romano saying that Saudi Arabia are really, really interested in him. But then we've had the player come out and say that he's happy in the north of England and he's settled with family and all that kind of stuff. So effectively, if he wanted to stay out for the rest of his contract, which I think he's got 3 years left on, he could do that, even if that means sitting on the bench. So we find ourselves in a difficult situation.
Yeah. I don't know what his wage is. I imagine it's not small.
No.
Hopefully the days of like offering players 300 grand contracts or like 275k a week contracts are gone. Because I think under Ineos they don't get that. Like the contracts are much lower. So it should, in theory, be easier to shift a player. But with his recent spate of like mistakes and things like that, it's very difficult to sell to a club and be like, do you want to buy this player who makes a lot of mistakes and has been well known to make mistakes? Yeah, it's a very difficult proposition to shift. It's like trying to shift Luke Shaw. Like, who the fuck's buying Luke Shaw? Like, do you want a player who's not available pretty much most of the season? Like, yeah, it's a difficult sort of thing to sell to any club. So, and then the fact that he wants to stay, that adds another thing. Trying to shift a player who doesn't want to go is again difficult.
Yeah, I think he's on around, I believe, he's on 520 grand a month. So make of that what you will. I think what's that like?
Divided by 4.
125 grand or something a week, I think.
Yeah.
Roughly. So again, not cheap, is it? It's one of those, especially for the next 3 years as well. And if you wanted to cut his contract, you probably wouldn't do it. But it's tricky, innit? Because that's the one that I think if you asked every United fan now, I think they'd even put it above Rasmus. You know, to sell players. I think Onana would be number 1, wouldn't it?
It's getting that way. It's definitely getting that way because he's cost us not an easy win against Lyon, but a comfortable win. Like, we should have comfortably won that game. The way we were playing, the goals that we scored, and their chances only came because of his mistakes.
Yeah.
That's the only reason they happened. They got 2 goals. So without that, we've got a 2-0 lead heading into Old Trafford, much more comfortable, much less nerves, and much more chance of going through to semi-final.
That's what I mean. Like, fans push it and go, just sell him, just get rid of him. It's not as easy as that.
Not FIFA. It's not fucking FIFA.
You can't just do that. If the player's like, no, I'm adamant, I absolutely want to stay. I don't care how much money Saudi Arabia are offering me. I'm staying here. My family is settled. Yeah. That's it. And the club have to go, right, we have to work with him. So I'm just, that for next season, if we have to have him in net again, I can't do it. You're going into a fight with a fucking spoon in your hand.
It was like Jadon Sancho. Like, we wanted rid of him, but he was basically happy to sit out and just not play, and just collect his wage. It's like, you've guaranteed that him in his contract. Like, you've guaranteed him 300k a week, so he's got no incentive to go, I'm going to find another club. Like some players do, because some players just want to play. They don't really care. But he was clearly happy to sit out and do that. And then basically United were, like you said, they're stuck with a hands tied behind the back because there's nothing they can do. Like, he's not broke his contract in any way. He's not disrepute or anything like that. Like, he's entitled to his contract. So there's nothing you can do about it.
No, I think the outgoings are going to be fascinating this summer to see how ruthless Ineos be and how many players actually leave the club, because there's all this speculation about. Obviously, we have players leaving anyway in Ericsson and Lindelof, but in terms of like first team players now that people like get rid, go, I don't see that many going. I think you get a couple maybe out the doors who are already out on loan. I mean, that's going to be a task in itself, getting rid of Rashford and Anthony and that first and foremost, and then never mind the rest of them.
The Anthony one looks positive. That's the only one that looks positive, doesn't it? Like the Sancho one, there's question marks and all this sort of stuff. The Rashford one, I saw a report today where they're not sure, they've not made their mind up and wages and stuff. But the Anthony one looks really positive. Everything that comes out is that they want to keep him, they're looking to sign him and stuff like that. So that, at least that's one that we think hopefully will go our way.
Just depends how much. So it all comes down to money, doesn't it? How much Batista's going to offer.
Well, that's going to be a loss, isn't it? Anthony's going to be a loss either way.
Yeah,
like whatever you get.
Yeah, but how much of a loss is what they're going to look at, especially in this PSR kind of era that we're in at the moment. Speaking of money and losses and buying players, United, this is according to Chris Wheeler and Nathan Salt, the United are favourites to sign Liam Delap. However, they face plenty of competition, with Arsenal understood to be the only Premier League club not chasing him. Which I read that as, okay, so what, 19 other teams are chasing him then? If they're the only Premier League club that aren't? That's very bizarre to me.
I imagine City are not chasing him.
Yeah. Does he move the needle for you, Liam Delap, Sam?
If it was in addition to an experienced striker, sure. But if that's our Rasmus Højlund replacement, I think we've just replaced it with another young, up-and-coming raw striker. So how does that solve an issue? Like, it's not solving an issue, is it? Like, the issue we have is we've got a goal scorer who's far too raw and far too inexperienced to lead the line at Manchester United, and his confidence has taken an absolute battering because that's what he's been expected to do, and he hasn't done it. So what we would ideally would have done is brought in Rasmus Højlund, not paid 70 million for him, brought him in for whatever the original price was, 40-something million, and bring in an experienced striker, the likes of Harry Kane or whoever you want to sort of thing, and he learns under that and then eventually replaces him. If you bring in Liam Delap, he's 21, and we've still got no experienced striker for them to learn off. So you got a 21-year-old teaching a 21-year-old with Zirkzee, who's a 23-year-old.
This is how not to score.
Like, it's not the right. I'm sure he's a good player. I'm sure people who are Ipswich fans will talk about our City Academy like fans and stuff will say he's a great player. I'm sure he is, and I'm sure he's got a lot of talent. But I think we're dying for experience in that forward line. Like, we need an experienced striker. Like, it has to be the way we go. It has to be.
I think there's too many apprentices in it, is what it feels like in the team, and not enough leaders. We're crying out for that. I never understood the logic in it for me personally. Like Liam Delap, I actually rate. I think he's
a good player.
I was supposed to have a video dropping over the weekend. I promise it's dropping this week, but just deep diving into his career and him as a player and what he's done in his first season, I think it's been really impressive. 12 goals in 30 games for Ipswich is good. You know,
in a shit team.
Yeah, and he's physical. I think he would suit Amorim quite a lot. And we sit here and we say that we trust Jason Wilcox's opinion, right? Jason Wilcox is someone who has closely worked with him at Manchester City and obviously rates him. So that's the one thing that I'm like, okay, I'm a bit more open to it because he's pushing it so much. I think, I'll believe behind the scenes. But even still with that, is that the reason why I say move the needle specifically is because I just don't. How much up the table does that bring us, bringing Liam Delap in? I don't.
Yeah.
How many goals is he going to score in his first season, realistically?
He's got what? He's got, what do you say, 14?
12 for Ipswich.
12?
Yeah.
So what? If he gets 12 to 15, like, does that get us into Champions League places?
I'm saying,
I doubt it. I doubt it.
You go from, 14th to 10th, 9th, 8th?
Yeah. Like, you're essentially Brighton and Brentford at that point, aren't you?
Yeah.
Like, that's who you become at that point.
That's who I'd expect someone like them to sign in maybe a year earlier or whatever. And that's what Ipswich have done. They took a gamble and it's paid off. Yeah. But I think the price tag's interesting as well, though, Sam. I think £30 million.
Release clause. Yeah. No, I don't have a problem with the price. The price is really good. Like, I like the price, 30 million. English, so you don't have all the visa issues and because of Brexit and what have you. So I like everything's positive, but it's just a lack of experience. That's what turns me away from it.
That's
like
a big red flag.
Osman's on the market. Like that's a big shiny thing over there, where you're like experienced striker playing in the biggest of like Champions Leagues and
He's got a proven goal scoring record, hasn't he? Anywhere he's been.
Goal scorer, won Serie A, like, do you know what I mean? So that's, and he's available. Like,
yeah,
do the deal.
No, I again, there's something. If people are all for Liam Delap and they believe in him and they think he'd be a good addition, I hear you. I like the qualities that he brings. I am still on the side of the defense. I think Sam's agreeing with that there as well. That I think you need Gyökeres or something.
If he comes in,
me too.
If he comes in and he scores 20 goals, I will happily sit on it and go, I was wrong about Liam Delap, and he's a fucking quality player. And I'm glad
with a big smile on our faces.
I will happily sit here and say that.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, leave your thoughts in the comments about Liam Delap in general heading into the summer. We're gonna shift gears slightly, Sam, and talk a bit of stadium talk, because there's some news coming out from there in kind of different aspects. We had some news revealed before that for the first time ever, a Tifo banner is going to be unveiled at Old Trafford prior to kick-off in United's game against Lyon on Thursday. SEF United have worked with the club on the idea and the image, which will be raised from the ground to the roof in front of Sir Alex Ferguson's stand. Bruno Fernandes has also given his captain's seal of approval on the banner as well. Things like this in around the stadium, do you think we need to see more of? Because there was a planned thing before the Sociedad game that was like supposed to be.
I told you about that, didn't I? Yeah.
Oh my god! And it was just one little firework that went off, and everyone was like, "Was that it?" Like, so more kind of atmosphere creating things. It'd be nice to see, especially on European nights as well.
Yeah, I'd love to see like you said, tifos, get some flares going.
Yeah.
Do you remember when Everton were on that relegation run and they showed up outside the team buses with all the flares outside?
Yeah,
and
love that.
Load of noise.
Love it.
Give me some of that shit. Give me some of that. Like, I'd love to see some of that stuff in Old Trafford. Big red wall at Stretford End, like just loads of banners and shit. Yeah, I'm down for that. More of that stuff, please. Make some noise. Make it rowdy, make it uncomfortable, hostile atmosphere for the opposition and stuff. Like, that's what I want. Like, I'd love to see that.
Because that can have an effect, can't it? You see it all the time.
Yeah.
Like, grounds in Europe, you travel to a Galatasaray as a player, you're thinking, fuck that. Fuck that. Yeah. Welcome to hell. And it's just a load of Turks going absolutely nuts with, like, red flares everywhere.
You remember the Galatasaray game and Garnacho scores and he's going over Tottenham and then fucking Bruno's going, mate, you're gonna get killed here. Yeah. Get away from there. Like, go over here. Yeah. Like, it's not like that's the kind of atmosphere you want. And I think certain places in Europe do it really, really well. Like you said, Galatasaray do it really well. I think Dortmund's yellow wall is fantastic. I love that thing. That's amazing. Yeah. That's really,
they
really
mentioned
cool.
that with the new stadium, didn't they? With the we want to create like a red wall kind of
single
thing.
tier, like all the way up. Yeah. That'd be amazing. And then as much as I hate Liverpool, and I really do, on European nights, Anfield is something else. Like, it's something else. And I'd love to have that atmosphere at United again. Like it was under Fergie. We did have those nights, and I'd love to see them back. It
was funny that they tried doing like a big banner, like it was kind of going across the crowd, but it started getting like crumpled up. Literally, as soon as got it out, it just all went like tissue paper and kind of.
Not used to do it. They're not used to it, are they?
Clearly not. Clearly not. Yeah. But yeah, I'm all for those kind of things. Now, we also had a situation. So I don't know if it was. Oh, it was the Manchester derby. Sorry. So there was security staff apparently alleged to have assaulted a fan during a sit-in protest at Old Trafford after the derby, and it just got announced before that he's been sacked, and it was a video that dropped of it. He's basically just like fucking grabbing him from behind and shoving him to the floor, and the guy wasn't doing anything.
Didn't he get sprayed with like pepper spray?
That was in Lyon though, I think. That happened.
Oh, was that Lyon? Sorry.
Yeah, but again, a couple of incidents where he kind of like, hold on a minute here, like a peaceful sitting protest. I suppose they weren't causing no agony. They weren't pushing anyone about.
Just sat there.
Off the cuff, through to the ground, like that kind of behaviour. It's kind of warrants being sacked on it. We don't need to spend too long.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, you've assaulted someone essentially. Yeah. Like, you've assaulted someone. Yeah. Everybody has a right to protest. Like, you have a right to protest, and it's as long like if it's peaceful as well. Especially if it's peaceful. Like if someone's just sat there and they're protesting a thing, they're not causing any violence. Like they're not breaking anything. They're not. There's no racist chanting. There's no like hate speech. Like they're literally like doing their right to protest. So yeah, the guy deserves sacking. He probably deserves some sort of conviction as well for assaulting the guy. Like he deserves the police to have a look at it and stuff like that, because you don't do that to people. Like you just don't do that. I just think not acceptable at all. Like well on for the club for sacking him as well.
Yeah, 100% agree with that one. And then the last story, you won't be able to see this on the screen, but I put it in the WhatsApp before for the group chat, which is the kits that I put in. There was 2 leaked kits.
Yes, I saw them on my timeline earlier today.
Yeah. So they are on the viewer screen at the minute. There's a home one, which you can fully see the full, obviously the full kit in itself. And then the second one is the away one, which is kind of more zoomed in, but you can kind of get the patterns and the texture of it and stuff. Just wanted to, in general, get your opinion on it. These are supposedly genuine leaks and how our kits are going to look. Fan? Not a fan?
The red one is just meh, isn't it? It's just
not a fan. It reminded me a little bit of Vodafone, but just without the Vodafone.
Yeah, no, it's not that I'm not a fan. Like it's just it's a standard red kit.
It doesn't move the needle. It's a Liam
Delap
kit.
Yeah, like it's fine. The purple one, I'm interested to see it, man. Like the sort of violet, white. Like I'm interested to see that because I don't remember us having a purple kit.
No, it's like a grey and I mean, it could be my glasses that's not thinking, but it is grey and like purple, isn't it?
Yeah,
Ish.
like a violet, I would say.
Yeah.
Like a violet purple.
Like what were them sweets called, man?
Love Arts.
No, not Love Arts. There was Parma Violets, isn't it?
Parma Violets, that
colour. That's what it looks like. Reminds me of.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see what that looks like because that could be cool. Like that could be something nice. But yeah, the red one is just standard in it. Like I don't think
no effort at all goes into it, does it?
I don't think we've done a really nice red kit for a long time.
No.
I think it's been a while since we've done a really nice red kit.
Yeah, agreed. Let me know, people, in the comment section. Do you like the home and away kit? In general, kits for United, when was your last favourite one? Would love to hear that as well in the last kind of 10 years. I don't do 10 years because the last 10 years they've all been absolutely dog shit. I think we did a show on that, didn't we?
Yeah.
We went through them all. We did a tail.
The white one this year, I like.
Oh,
the white
fire.
one's good this year.
Fire. Yeah. I'm mad on the back as well, so it's kind of like, I love that.
And then the goalie, the black goalie one this year is really good.
Yeah.
Like, they're really good
I've not bought that yet, actually. I think I might still get that before.
They're really nice. But apart from that, I just buy retro kits at this point. Like, if they do reissues, like the reissue of the blue kit that Lissandro was wearing, I bought that one. The reissue of the red one that I've shown you, I think you've got as well.
Yeah.
The reissue of the Schmeichel green
Goalkeeper
and black
kit.
long sleeve goalie one, I've got that as well. So I just buy reissues of like classic kits at this point.
Yeah.
Because the new ones are just shit.
You did say the third one is supposed to be based on the Cantona, the one that we like, the black and gold one.
I've got that one as well.
So the third one next season is supposed to be based on that, the same colorway and stuff. So
if they've got a collar on it and it's like that, I'll be all over that. I'll be down with it. I love a black kit. United black kits are always my favorite.
Yeah, same. That is the end of the morning news show, people. Don't work too hard. Enjoy the rest of your day, and me and Sam will see you later on at 7 o'clock. See you in a bit.